Hi guys, it's 5 p.m. I just got done with work and we are gonna go grocery shopping together for making dinner tonight. Me in an Asian store is like a kid in a candy store. I want to buy everything here. Let's start cooking. So what are we making today? We are making a vegetarian pad thai. So pad thai is a Thai dish. It was quite obvious. But what makes it different from other noodle dishes is that it's very distinguishable sauce, which is mainly comprised of tamarind, fish sauce, and brown sugar or palm sugar. So it has like sweet, salty, and sourness all at the same time. You can use whatever vegetables you want, but two very ingredient things are, I think, Beansprouts and spring onions. I think it enhances the whole flavor of the dish. Today we are making a vegetarian one. So I'm going to use oyster mushrooms, white mushrooms, and bell peppers. And we're also adding tofu. If you're making a non-veg, feel free to add prawns, chicken, whichever meat you like. But the base recipe is the same. You can change it the way you want. So let's get started. guess what I forgot? The very main ingredient. Rice noodles. So let me tell you guys the story of how I started cooking while I'm chopping the mushrooms. So as most of you know, I moved to the UK in January 2020, and before that I was living with my parents in my own house. So like most other Indian kids, I never really cooked, and I never really entered the kitchen much except to help my mother, and I'm not really very proud about it. So both my parents are really good cooks, both of them. My father and my mother, they are big foodies. So in my house, I always had good food. My fondest memory would be that I would wake up from sleep before school and I would see both my parents in the kitchen making this really amazing tiffin for me, or lunch, which I'll then pack and take to school, and my friends would finish that off before I can even have it. But it's still a really good memory. So growing up in a household, especially a Bengali household, where food is like the main thing and then everything else revolves around it, my parents' biggest fear was that I would not be able to survive abroad if I do not know how to cook. And that was my fear as well. But things took a turn, and when I moved abroad, the first meal I made was this white sauce wrap, which my mother literally taught me like 2 days back. And it was really nice. It was perfect. The salt was perfect. The white sauce wasn't too thick, wasn't too runny, and I was quite surprised that how did I make this? Like, this is the first time I'm making something and it's literally so good. And that's when I thought that maybe I can cook more and try to discover more and see how it goes. And I remember before I moved, my father would be like really disappointed about his future grandchildren who were apparently not getting treated right by their mother, who's me in the future, because they do not get as good food as I had while growing up. So yeah, he had his imaginary grandchildren in his mind and he was sad about it. So we had a lot of quarrels why I do not enter the kitchen. But for my father, because he knows how to cook, cooking was never a gender thing. It was something that everyone should know. It's a basic human necessity. And in order to have a healthy lifestyle, it is very important that you know to at least cook a certain meals. Yeah, so I felt like when I came here and I started cooking, and because I was using the exact same recipes that my mother was sending me, it made me feel a lot less homesick, if I'm honest. I think because I was getting the exact kind of food that my mother would make at home, and the taste was similar. Most of it was similar, and it was a way in which I could reconnect and not miss my family or my culture much. And that is what stayed with me. And one of the biggest thing that I felt was like a change for me was that I was exposed to these various ingredients from all over the world. It be it Korean, Japanese, Chinese, Italian, and when I started watching more YouTube videos on cooking, I realized there's so much more things that I can cook and I can have at home, and I do not have to go to a restaurant. So I have already cut the tofu and it looks a bit messy because I bought an extra firm one, but turns out it was a bit flimsy and soft. Sadly, the tofu doesn't look very doable, so we are gonna make some scrambled eggs instead.